Welcome to the first legislative update of the 2019 legislative session. I'll be talking about the benefit improvement account, and then AJ and Nick will be covering the presumptive and PTSD legislation that we're working on. So far this year, in the middle of week 4, 960 bills have been introduced in the House, and another 869 have been introduced in the Senate. So we've been quite busy keeping track of all the bills that have been introduced. On the benefit improvement account funding, because that is an item that ends up in the budget, it's actually going to be several weeks or a month before we even have a good sense of that moving forward. To be successful, we do need 3 steps to occur. The first is to be included in the governor's budget, which we have been, and then the second step will be to be included in one or both of the House and Senate budgets, and then finally at the very end of session, when they've agreed to a compromise budget, if we're included in that, then we've been successful in that endeavor. So at this point, we're continuing to have conversations with House and Senate budget writers, and at this point, we don't have a good sense. Certainly, the member conversations with legislators that occurred last week at the Kelly L. Fox Legislative Conference have been very useful for us, and so we'll keep you updated on that. Some important upcoming deadlines that we're keeping an eye on. February 22nd is the policy committee cutoff, which is the date that any bill that is not fiscal in nature, but considered like labor and commerce bill or something that has to do with just a policy, it has to be out of that committee by February 22nd. And then if there's a fiscal impact, March 1st is the cutoff for those bills. So any bill has to be out of the fiscal committee by March 1st to be able to continue to be alive for this session. And then March 13th is the House of Origin cutoff. So any bill that is not passed out of the House of Origin by March 13th is more than likely dead unless it has a necessary to implement the budget designation. So we're also tracking some bills related to EMS, labor, wildland, health and safety, and we will try to get you a little bit more information and highlight 1 or 2 of those in upcoming updates.
Hello, AJ Johnson here, coming to you from the State Council office in Olympia. Quick legislative update for me. This year we're trying to expand our presumptive disease statute to include 5 more cancers: mesothelioma, stomach cancer, non-melanoma skin cancer, breast cancer, and cervical cancer. We have several studies that have shown that firefighters are contracting these diseases at higher levels than the general population, some as high as 5 times. This bill would also add publicly employed fire investigators, EMTs, and some law enforcement officers. Last year we successfully lobbied to get PTSD passed as an on-the-job illness. This year we'll be working to make sure that when you file a PTSD claim, that those records are confidential between you and your employer. Thank you for your continued support, and thanks for watching.